Hi everyone, my name is Amy and I work here at Connections as a Communicative Disorders Assistant for the Talk to Me program. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how I incorporate speech and language goals into water play. Now, I really like talking to families about using water play in the summertime just because it can be a great option. It, number one, cools you off on a hot day. Two, generally children find this activity pretty motivating and most find this pretty fun. And three, I like it because you don't need a lot of things, really. You can kind of create water play at home in any way. Some families may have a water table at their house that you can purchase, which is a great option, but you also don't necessarily need that. You can play with the hose or any large container will do. I really like using a storage container actually with a lid, as long as you are supervising your very young children and not leaving them unattended. It can be a really great option. Sometimes I know at my house I have a little water table, and if I fill up the water and I just kind of leave it overnight or for maybe a couple days, the water can get really kind of yucky and you got to dump it and all that stuff and kind of wash it out. But a storage container is a great option if you have one, just because you can also just pop the lid on and when you're finished at the end of the day, and then the water will still be nice the next time that you actually go to use it. So that's a great tip. Okay, so now I'm going to go through some options of things that you might have around the house that would be great to incorporate in your water play. So one of the things that I always encourage families to do is actually take some of the toys that will not get ruined in water and bring them out to the table and kind of swap out the toys. So I always say bring your little favorite characters in there. They can be going in the water, out of the water. You can talk about how they're wet and this one's dry. And another great option I always talk about is taking any characters really, and little baby dolls and things like that. And you can actually talk about how they're dirty. Sometimes I will take a washable marker and actually mark up when the child's not looking. I will mark up the animals or whatever it may be and talk about, oh, they're dirty. They've got dirty legs and dirty ears and a dirty back. And then you can actually bring them into the water play with some soap and washcloths or scrub brushes, whatever you want, and then talk about how you are washing them. Oh, we're gonna wash the belly. Let's wash the baby's hair. Wash the hair, scrub, scrub, scrub. A great opportunity for some nice language. We really like to work a lot on action words, descriptive words, and location words when doing activities with children if we're working on language. So a lot of great action words there. You can talk about things washing, drying, scrubbing. Descriptive words, everything can be dirty and everything can be clean or wet and dry. And then you can talk about putting soap on different parts of the body. Oh, look at this little guy. I'm going to put soap on his head, on the head. Let's get the soap off. Let's rinse it off. So some really great opportunities for some language without really using any toys that are designed for water play. Another great option of things that you can incorporate in with water play are just items that you have around the house. I say kitchen items are really nice. If you have a kitchen center, little pots and pans, you can bring those in there. But also just bowls, plates, things that you already have at your house. Can be really nice because honestly they really just like filling the cups and dumping the cups, but you could also add some bubbles. Sometimes I just have an old thing of bubble bath outside kind of all the time, and we'll just put some in there, and then actually you can take a whisk at home and you can really whisk up the bubbles, and it creates a lot of bubbles in whatever container you're using. And then it's a really great opportunity for pretend play. Obviously we're encouraging not to eat the bubbles, but it's just a nice opportunity where you can pretend you're having bubble soup and kind of fill up the bowls, and maybe you want to kind of feed some little characters some bubbles. You can, if you really whisk it up, you can talk about, oh, look at that the big pile of bubbles, or oh, I just have a little bit of bubbles. So some great contrast there. And just a really great opportunity for pretend play. One of the strategies that we often talk about in sessions is to copy your child's actions yourself and make sure it's nice to have two sets of everything so you can model some nice pretend play. A lot of times water play toys, you might have a few that are kind of not specialized, but like you might just have one set of something, while bowls and cups and things, you'll always have generally two. So if your child's kind of stirring with a spoon the bubbles in their bowl, then you yourself can have your own bowl and model as well, copy their actions, and then supply some nice language with that. So you can say, oh, I'm gonna stir, 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 or oh, I'm gonna dump the bubbles out. So a really great option, we often say that in sessions, copy their actions if they're really quiet in hopes to get them noisy. Children generally like when you copy them and just kind of look at them expectantly and then model some nice simple language can be a really nice way to hopefully increase the likelihood that they'll imitate you. Another strategy that we often talk about is just creating opportunities for more practice. And water play can be a really great way to do that. The more children hear a certain word, the more likely they will to learn the meaning and also eventually start using that word. So sometimes I just have a big bin of toys or just random objects, and then the children can kind of request which ones they would like in the water, and then you can practice things over and over again. So if your child's really young and they're really working on just getting noisy, you might just even make a sound like splash or uh-oh when they get in the water each time. They can maybe choose the toy they want and throw it in the bin. That can be really nice in the water. So keeping that in mind, if your child is really just starting to talk, again, it just gives you the opportunity to highlight language again and again in the same activity. So any of these activities that you do, if you're washing the babies or if you're throwing the things in the bin, if you're dumping, just keep that in mind, that we want to set up the situation where you get lots of practice and that you can really highlight that language multiple times. And lastly, I just go over with parents a couple options to change the play up a little bit. Sometimes, I'll suggest adding some colors to the water, or even I just purchased the little cheap spray bottles. Sometimes I'll have different items kind of lined up and we can spray them and see if we can knock them over into the water. You can say go or uh-oh when they fall in the water, or you can talk about, okay, let's get them in the water. Oh, we got that one wet, and just opportunity to highlight things. It can be really fun. And one of the ones that is the most successful that I often do at my house is just getting anything that you can use for a basic car ramp. That's really great. We have one that comes off our table, leaned up against our table into even just a shallow bin, just making the cars or anything really going down the ramp and seeing which ones make a big splash, which ones make a little splash, or just even ready, set, go, and see if you can get your child to imitate any of those nice words. I find the car ramp can be actually a really great suggestion. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, if you ever have any questions about your child's speech or language, please feel free to visit our website at connectwithus.ca, and you yourself can do an online referral. Thanks so much for watching, and thank you for connecting with us.